Okay, this rhyme begins on the very bottom of Daf Pei, and it begins with the statement Lahavin to understand this, that it says that on the eighth day Atzeres Tia Lachem, a reference, of course, to the Yontif that we call Shmini Atzeres. So the Mimer begins that our objective is to understand why the pasuk says B'yem Hashmini on the eighth day Atzeres Tia Lachem, and Atzeres it should be for you. In contrast to a different pasuk regarding Shvi Shal Pesach that says Atzeres LaHashem Elekecha, that it's an Atzeres not to you like it is for Shmini Atzeres, rather it's Hashem Elekecha. Now, pasuk says, we recognize from the first paragraph of the Shema, B'haftes Hashem Elekecha, love Hashem your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your everything. All of Avcha, the Gemara explains, means this odd spelling of Lamed Vez Vez is B'shnei Yitzirecha, both the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara, that the whole power of passion, of fire, from the Yetzer Hara that is ordinarily directed towards Adam Hazeh should be transformed into a fire exclusively for Hashem. Like it will be in the times of Mashiach, that it says in Tzfanya, that then Hashem will transform all of the nations to one clear language, to call all of them in the shame Hashem, in the name of God, to serve them, to serve Him with one purpose. That is, that even the nations who serve the idols, the Taivas of Gashmis, will be transformed into a clear language to call upon all of them. And this is the concept of the transformation as hapcha of darkness to light. And to serve them all with one shoulder, that is, they'll all put their shoulder together, meaning even the backside, even the back shoulder, that is, like it says, that you will turn their hearts around, will be turned around and will serve Hashem. And this is what it means via hafta, which is both an instruction as well as a foretelling, that ultimately everybody will in fact love Hashem with all their heart. Nobody will be left out. Then it says b'chol nafshecha, which is this greater level of love that can't even be grasped within the human heart, because it's not something comparable at all within the world of Gashmias. It's exclusively for Hashem. It's a fiery flame of the divine soul, like it says, my soul longs for you. And this love is inflamed in the nefashos of the tzaddikim, because they are a chamber for godliness, a house for godliness. And then it says b'chol miyadecha, which now we're actually on Daf Pei Aleph, is this superior level of love, which is such an excessive level that it can't even be grasped by the tzaddikim. It is so intense that it is beyond anything of creation to be so attached with Hashem within the Ein Sof. Now the pasuk in Tehillim says that great is Hashem and exceedingly ma'oid is He praises, and His greatness is unfathomable. So too the love that is drawn out is in this characteristic describable as ma'oid, immeasurable. Nobody can grasp it, because since the nefesh is ultimately a creation, it's a keli, it's limited. And how does a person merit such a level? Is only through the level of tshuva. Like the Gemara says, that where the Baal Tshuva stands, even the tzaddik cannot stand. The point being, as Shlomo HaMelech writes, there is a greater light when it comes out of darkness. That is, there's a distinctive virtue to a light when it comes out of darkness. That is, when a person takes to heart all of his deeds and all of his words and all of his thoughts that were not directed to Hashem, while he spent his life in the nonsense, the darkness that concealed godliness. And nevertheless, this is what, in fact, he desires. So how much more so when there is this greater level of light that comes out and is elevated to godliness, that this elevates and inflames it that much more in a greater and greater manner to pull him out of this imprisonment, that he should pour out his heart to be curled up within his Father, Hashem, and to be absolutely attached to him. And this is what it means when the Gemara says that his deliberate sins suddenly become merits. How? Through tshuva. He is so elevated to such a level of intense love that even the tzaddikim gemudim cannot reach, even though they are gomer, they are complete, still they are a keli. So they're still like a completed, perfect work of art, but it's still yet a work of art. And therefore, our sages suggest in Pirkei Avos, to be humble before all people. For in order for a person to be open and thus broken up to receive this level of godliness that comes out of this otherwise pursuit of darkness, this greater light. And this is what the Pirkei Avos means when it says, that is greater, one deep moment of tshuva and good deeds in Olam Hazeh, more than Olam Haba. And we say that all our days should be sent in tshuva. The whole Olam Haba is only a little ray, a glimmer, like it says that tzaddikim benefit from this glimmer. And we say that with the Yud, the world of Olam Haba was created. Meaning, with this tiny little expression of Yud, represented by this small letter, which is a first letter of Hashem's name, and Hashem and his name are one. Like we say, we can only grasp his name, and only his glory is on the heavens and the earth. His glory, meaning only a tiny ray, a tiny insight that can be reached. And the Yidden, who are his closest people, and are absolutely made of his very fabric, and through tshuva, from intense love, to be attached to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu Levad. This is tshuva from such a level of love. This is a level called Yetzias Mitzrayim, that is to go out of all limitations, even the limitations of love, to go out of that, even the level of the tzaddik, and to go to the level of the Baal Tshuva. And within each one, according to his level, there is this Yetzias Mitzrayim, and even this is applicable even to the masses, to turn away from their engagement in Olam Hazeh, and particularly in their engagement in whatever their business matters are, and to fix within their identity, to relieve themselves from all of their business and so on, to go out of this Mitzrayim and pursue a level after level to the highest level till they reach this level of Olam Haba, Oispace. And this is what is achieved during the 7 days of Pesach, the days of the Exodus of Mitzrayim, the time of the Hesodus of this great love from below to above. Then comes the 7th day, which is a level of Ava Rabbah that is revealed. This Atzeres LaHashem Alekecha, meaning, like it says, if your heart is racing, return to the one. This is a general introduction, like we say, you have to go back to the oneness of Hashem. Like it says, my flesh and my heart are expired, and God is the rock of my heart. It's in Tehillim 73. Meaning it's expired like a total kalos hanefesh. And as a consequence thereof, Hashem becomes the rock of my heart. The idea of tzur, meaning strong. Like we know, tzur tamim pa'olah, it says in the Pasuk in Hazinu. That is, that we should strengthen ourselves, that we are compelled to live in order that we should make for Hashem this dir b'tachtonim, that we have to make a dwelling place, a sanctuary where godliness will reside through engaging in Torah and mitzvahs, that it should be the level of Havaya, should become our personal God. It should radiate and rest within us down here. Like we say, Al tikre banayich ela boinayich, that scholars are called builders, that they engage in building the world. For the only place that Hashem has to find in the world is in the immediate environs of halacha. And like it says, if not for my covenant day and night, the Sukkos Shamayim v'Aretz, I would not have placed. So too when it comes to mitzvahs, particularly tzedakah, like it says, the world is built on chesed. The chesed of Hashem fills the earth. And this is the idea of the conclusion, the atzeres of the 7 days of Pesach, to accumulate all of this sense of the ruach and the nefesh, that it should not be completely nizbato, completely surrendered within this fantastic love, but rather it should be contained within the heart, in this idea that we are passionately pursuing godliness and then returning. What then is the atzeres of Sukkos? This is what it says: Tan l'sheni imrasecha, I have tasted with my tongue your words, tzedek, all of your commandments are righteous. That is, that through the Aseres you made tshuva, the Yidden merit to the idea of this level of tshuva from Avos. And therefore we draw down from above this intense level of love, a level where our love for Hashem is our only pleasure. Throughout the days of Sukkos, like it says, with my right hand I embrace him, that this is comparable to one who embraces his friend. He's not going to let him go. So too, we are elevated in the level of love of Hashem, to be attached to him, never to be separated. Meaning that the chesed of Hashem is stronger than us, and it does not allow us to deviate chas v'shalom. And this level of love is immeasurable to the point of total kalos nefesh, like it says, kalsa nafshi. Now the pasuk says in Tehillim 85, tzedek lafanav yahalech, righteousness will go before you, v'yasim l'derech pamav, and it will organize your steps. Meaning tzedek, which is the character of the Jews, lafanav yahalech, that through the right hand and embracing Him, it will elevate us up, that we will be before Hashem, and then Hashem will place our steps. That is, it will draw down godliness from above to below, down to the least level. Like it says, how beautiful are your steps, that through Torah, which is called the pathway, we draw down this revelation of godliness, because His kindness overwhelms us, and the truth of God is forever. That we draw down this level of emes Hashem from above to above, below, to be invested in the world. And when we say emes, we mean Torah, because the midah of Avi, even though it is to attach itself mamish, nevertheless, it's only the emes of a person. It's not yet the emes of Hashem, because the emes of Hashem is echad and ain't oid, and there's nobody, there isn't the person there to love. No thought can grasp such a thing. It's mamish and atzmis. It's only can be grasped through Torah, which is the ratzon of Hashem, and Torah and Hashem are absolutely one, and therefore it says that Kara of Hashem, God is close to all those who call upon Him, all those who call upon Him in truth. And how do we call upon Hashem in truth? We do that through Torah. And this is what it means when we say Tan l'sheni imrasecha from Tehillim. Meaning Tan, that is, like we say, to respond. That you respond back to the one who calls you. You're not doing anything of your own. You're simply responding back. This is what David HaMelech davened for the Yidden, that they should simply respond back, because Torah is God's statements. Like it says, God has spoken, it has come out. But nevertheless, every day we say, noisein, current tense, He gives us the Torah. He gives it to us every day. Like it says, I will place my words in your mouth, that I will respond that which comes out of your mouth, which is the revelation of the word of Hashem, like it says, Imrefi, the level of Emes Hashem li'olam, and I don't do anything, I simply respond to you. And how do we merit such a thing? Because the pasuk says, all your mitzvahs are righteous. All of your mitzvahs are drawn down to be righteous. They should be elevated before you, that you should be driven and motivated, particularly through the mitzvah of Sukkah and Lulav. That from here we draw down this idea that God directs our steps, that it will reveal that in this very tangible Maisa, the Soif Maisa is the word of Hashem, the truth of Hashem stands there, that Hashem has spoken on this day that has this impact on Ois Gimel. And now we understand this quote, B'yem Hashmini, after the days of Sukkos, we've drawn down this intense level of love, where our only joy is to love Hashem, this level that godliness overwhelms us with His kindness. And then on this 8th day, which is an even loftier level, it will be an Atzeres for you, that it will be drawn down, Lachem, to you, this level of Emes Hashem li'olam, this level of Hashem imirecha, this level of nishikin, of such an intense closeness, of unification of our Chabad with Hashem's Chabad in absolute oneness. And this is the Klal Gadol and the suggestion. And all those who engage in Torah, to know truly that the Mishnah, the Gemara, the poskim that he is learning, is already been said, it is already the word of Hashem. It's only like a response. That on Shmini Atzeres, we draw down this level. Not only that it should be established, this that we said earlier, Hashem Amarta Hayoyin, this is what God has said. Also, it's an impactive form, a Lashon Mafia, that we cause that the statements of Torah that should be brought down here through our attachment with Hashem in the Yorein Soif, with this great level of love. As is mentioned earlier, Atzeres LaHashem Elikecha, which is on Shvi Shal Pesach, should become Atzeres Lechem. It should become for us. And this is the statement that whoever studies Torah, Hashem is studying along with him. This means that through our activities, Rusadula Sata, we prompt a corresponding Rusadula Ela. One spirit brings another spirit from below to above. This is the word of Hashem from above to below. And this is why it's called Kenegdai, because it's incomparable, the word of man that is drawn down through the engagement in Torah, through the word of Hashem that draws down at this moment. And therefore, it's not yet invested in it. It's only at the level of Kenegdai. Like it says, we are reading, Hashem is reading Kenegdai, but it still suggests that there's somewhat of a separation. This means that he is surrounding us in a level of makif. Like it's explained in many other places, this idea of Seviv Kolam. Now we understand what it says in the Medrash, that 2,000 years prior to the creation of the world, Hashem had the Torah, which seems odd. Before the creation of the world, there was no idea of time. So how could there be 2,000 years that Torah existed before Torah? But the point being that Torah and Hashem are all one. It is Hashem's absolute will, which is absolutely aligned with Hashem, which is the Seviv of Kolam. And in order that it should be invested in the world, it has to first invest itself in these two stages, Chachma and Bina, which are the 2,000 years, 1,000 of Chachma, 1,000 of Bina. Explanation being that on Shmini Atzeres, which is the Atzeres Tiel Lachem, it's for us, that this on Shvi Shal Pesach, it's Atzeres LaHashem Alekecha, the contrast we talked about in the beginning. The idea being that just like we talk about the chosin, the bridegroom who comes out from the chuppah, the chosin is singular, but sometimes we say metzales chasanim, like the celebration of the chosins, the plural. The idea being that on the day of the wedding, that's Matan Torah, the chosin is this level that is drawn down from the Or Ein Sof, and therefore it is brought down and it is given the Torah with 5 voices. The call means an expression, that it should be an expression of Torah from above to below. These 5 levels, one is the drawing down of Or Ein Sof into Chachma, like we said, 1,000 years of Chachma, 1,000 years of Bina. The second is from Chachma to Midas, and then into Machshava Dibur U'Maisa. That's the 5 as we explained. In general, though, it's these 2 levels of Chassid. One is the drawing down of Chachma of Atzilus, which is Torah from above, and the Chachma radiates in the world of Atzilus. And the second is a second degree of bringing it down. This that is drawn down into the Torah of Bria, which is the noivelis, like the little budding grapes of Chachma from above, which is not the case with Atzmis of Chachmilah, regarding which it says, my face you cannot see. Like it's explained in Igeres HaKodesh on the pasuk that says the crown of light, and also in Likkutei Torah, and the Alter Rebbe here quotes a few other Maimarim and other places that this idea can be talked about. The reference of Torah as your Torah, the way it is in Atzilus, that we learn it the way it's manifest in Bria. And then there's another level, and that's like the Chosin, which is a revelation of Pnimis HaTorah that we will experience only later. That this drawing down of the Pnimis of Chachmilah of Atzilus, that is higher than say the Rishtalshlus, will be revealed also down here in Biyah. And it will turn out that will be the level of only one Chosin. The Giloi down here, identical to the way it is above. And this is what is explained in the Maimer, Kisishma B'Kol, that is invested within the voice, which is Lamaila from the level of these 5 kolos themselves. And regarding this, we understand the difference between the engagement in Torah and this idea of taste, my tongue, your statements, that this idea of taste is in the statements themselves, the way Torah is above, that is drawn down in the study. And this is the idea that I place my words, mamash, in your mouth, that I will answer them, which is not the case in ordinary engagement in Torah, that is only the ha'ara of the higher level that is drawn down. And this is the difference between the 7th of Pesach that it says, Atzeres LaHashem Alekecha, which is the Amshacha in Torah from above. The level of Havaya Lekecha is an all-consuming fire, like the nature of fire to detach, should be drawn down into the Torah mitzvahs. But nevertheless, it's still detached. It's Atzeres LaHashem Alekecha on Shvi Shal Pesach. And you only get the little budding. But on Shmini Atzeres, now you get Atzeres Tiel Lachem, it is drawn down and it becomes manifest within you.